Hi guys, I just wanted to discuss nostalgia again, back in the 70s and 80s, growing up and going to Disneyland. So I have here my original Disneyland ticket books, and there's only one of them that is still completely intact. The rest, we've used the e-tickets. What can I say? So let's see. This one says the adult admission plus 15 adventures at Disneyland. Adult price $9.25 to get into Disneyland. And then, of course, all of the tickets are there. Here is another one. Admission and 11 adventures at Disneyland. Adult $8.50. And the e-tickets are gone. Here's another one. Same thing. Adult $8.50. And then here is a child's ticket book, and it is $5.75, ages 3 through 11. This one says it is from the summer. Admissions plus 13 adventures for the happiest place on earth. So my dad painstakingly held on to those. And then we have all of these A tickets, right? Because the E tickets are where it's at, and some of the D tickets. But here's all of the A tickets that have been saved. Now, think about that. You know, Dad could have thrown these away, but he even though the books are gone, he kept the tickets. So let's take a look at it, and I'll probably insert a picture right about now. And I'm going to read to you quickly. Main Street and Fantasyland. So here's what was available. The horse-drawn streetcars, Main Street Cinema, Main Street Vehicles. And then in Fantasyland, you could ride the King Arthur Carousel. So that's what this A ticket, the A attraction coupon, was good for. So I wanted to just discuss about growing up in the 70s and the 80s. So I was there because I'm from Los Angeles, and we lived 14 miles from Disneyland. And we would go there all the time. Like, I used to go there after school and on weekends and just go hang out at the hotel area. Now, even though we lived 14 miles away, we would stay at the hotel. We've stayed twice at the Disneyland Hotel, and it was a unique experience. We had 3 days, 2 nights. It was a weekend, and we stayed at our hotel, and we went to the pool, and then we got the monorail. We took the monorail from now it's downtown Disney District, but at the time it was right there by the shops. I don't know if I can find photos. If I can, I may insert them at the end of this video. We would ride the monorail from our hotel into the park. Now, I was there for the bicentennial celebration in 1976, and they had the amazing parade with, you know, Goofy and Donald and Mickey Mouse playing their instruments, and the Eagle, and all of the United States bicentennial Americana celebration. It was amazing, and all of the light poles were decorated in red, white, and blue, and there was all of this. It was just a really electric time, and everything was so easy breezy, and, you know, just a lot of fun. But we went when there was no Disney California Adventure, so the parking lot was there, and you caught the tram, and you just walked up to the ticket booth, and then you were in the gate. So, wow, back in those days, it was really awesome because it was a lot less hassle. You could just drive in. I think parking was 75 cents. Now it's 35. But no parking structures, just park out in front of Disneyland and catch the tram and walk up to the gates. Very magical. But when we stayed at the hotel, There was a restaurant called the Oak Room, and of course Goofy's Kitchen was there with the character dining experience. But there was a toy store down in, there was a 3-level shopping center, and there was a toy store, and I used to go there, and I bought, my parents bought me an Alice in Wonderland Madame Alexandra doll, and I got a Scarlett O'Hara doll. But they had all of these experiences right there that were, you know, family friendly and on a small scale. It wasn't like these corporate shops like a Sephora or, you know, like the bigger stores. These were independent little shops, boutique shops that were there in the shopping center, and it was great. And then when we weren't staying at the hotel, and sometimes I would just go after school or on the weekends, we would literally, where the monorail station is there in downtown Disney, that used to be the curb, the curb from the road where you could literally just park. There was a whole row of these diagonal spots, and you could just park. And I remember me and my girlfriends who were in high school, we just drove there after school, and we're like, let's go to the cafe and get a slice of pie or something. So we just pulled it right up front and walked 5 feet and ate there at the hotel area. And then after that, you know, we went and walked around the hotels, and there was the boats that were there in the water. The water is still there, and then there was like a pier where you could go shop, and then of course all the waterfalls and stuff. So we would just go hang out there, and it was very peaceful. It was nice. There wasn't you know, security and all of these security checks, and it was a different time. So I would say that was around 1987, 88. But I just remember it being a really magical time. So I have my list here. Yeah, there was no parking structures. And so when we would go, me and my family, we would typically, you know, get there at rope drop and just go ride as many rides as we could, but it wasn't crowded. So you could literally ride rides, just 15-minute wait. Of course, Peter Pan has always been like this long wait, but for the most part, you know, you could just walk up and kind of get to the front of the line and wait for the next whatever, boat, car, whatever it is that you're gonna ride in, and you would just get on. So anyway, I don't want to keep this video too long, but I wanted to kind of go down memory lane and just let you know what it was like in the 70s and the 80s, growing up and being a kid and experiencing this firsthand. And so 2 things about being in the park, rope drop, and going and doing whatever you want, which I always wanted to do Space Mountain. My family would always eat at the Blue Bayou. And so we would eat at the Blue Bayou, and I would always get a Monte Cristo sandwich with my mint julep. And it was so relaxing and peaceful. If any of you have been to the Blue Bayou, you know the atmosphere with the Pirates attraction there, and the boats are going by, and the fireflies. It's really nice, and the flicker of the candles. But that was where we would eat. My family and I we would go to Disneyland, and then of course we were snacking all day. But now we've kind of veered away from the Blue Bayou, and now we're Plaza Inn people. We love the pot roast at the Plaza Inn. And so the second thing about the 70s and growing up was the experience. See, now they have all of these projections that are on the castle. Now it's where it doesn't matter where you're standing on Main Street or anywhere near, you will be able to see the projections, which is great. But back in the day, when it was a more intimate experience, I want to say Disneyland was more intimate than it is now. It's still family friendly, it's still giving you an experience, but you know, technology has advanced. But I remember going to the castle, Sleeping Beauty's castle, and standing there and waiting for the fireworks. And we would just be waiting, but we knew Tinkerbell was going to fly from the Matterhorn to the castle, and it was this experience. So now they can do these with drones and, you know, Buzz Lightyear and Zero and all of this, right? But back in the day, it was a woman on a cable, and you think about how dangerous it is, but she's on a cable, and it was the same woman my entire childhood. I had no idea until she eventually retired. But you were waiting, and then the announcer would say, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, look overhead, Tinkerbell, you know, and it was this it was this magical experience where if you blinked, you missed it. And so there she would go, and they had the lights on her, and she would fly, a woman literally, Tinkerbell, flying from the Matterhorn over to the top of the castle. And being a child and seeing that, you really were impacted by the Disney magic, which I kind of feel is missing now, because I'm just saying I'm relating it as it's more, back then was an intimate experience, and one that never leaves your mind. It never leaves your experience. And these are memories that I cherish and I value, and I'm so grateful for. So if you guys have any questions about the park and the experience, the food, anything that you want to know from, let's see, my family, my first trip was when I was 18 months. So my family was going for the bulk of the 70s. So I would say 73 through 79 would be the 70s, and then probably from about 83 on through to the 90s was the second phase of that family dynamic. So if you want to know anything about that time, even like what characters were roaming the park, because we didn't have the Mickey Mouse that we have today with the blinking eyes and all that. We had the very first stages, you know, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and Tweedledee and Tweedledum. So if you want to know anything about it, leave me a comment. I'll try to answer. If I get enough comments, I may do a video on it. But I just wanted to share with you that these memories are priceless to me. I will forever be grateful for the experience that me and my family had at Disneyland in the 70s and 80s, and it is just a special memory for me always. So I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks so much. Bye.